Future could not look bleaker for Duke and Duchess of Hypocrisy. After spending nearly 4 years in the US, they have nothing to show for it. Are they going to be able to right the ship, or are they going to continue to sink? Hello friends, welcome to the King YouTube channel. As Camilla Tominey wrote in The Telegraph, it certainly was a weird week for Meghan and Harry. There were reports that Harry and Meghan were planning to snub the King's 75th birthday celebrations on Tuesday, but then pretty much immediately after that news came out, there was a spokesperson speaking on behalf of Meghan and Harry saying there has been no contact regarding an invitation to His Majesty's upcoming birthday. And then right after that, a source who is supposedly close to the couple showed up suggesting that the story had been leaked to try to distract attention away from the King and Queen's recent visit to Kenya, where His Majesty did face calls to apologize for Britain's colonial past. This source said, considering the trip to Kenya didn't go well, this might be a welcome distraction. But the problem is, that trip did go well. I mean, none of this ever made sense at the time, and it still doesn't make sense. I know their mission in life is to try to disturb the monarchy, especially the King and the Queen and Prince William and Princess Catherine, but they only make themselves look more pathetic in the process, and it doesn't even work. Nobody is fooled by them at this point. And then we had old Scabies showing up on Twitter, or whatever, now it's known as X, questioning the out-of-touch optics of the King and Queen walking on a red carpet that had been laid out for them in Nairobi National Park. But as it turns out, Kenyans were not offended by them walking on the red carpet. In fact, it would have been offensive if they refused to walk on the red carpet. And as for this claim that the visit to Kenya was not successful, it was. I mean, this implication that the King is supposed to do more to apologize for Britain's colonial past is a lie. In fact, according to Neil Wiggin, the UK High Commissioner to Nairobi, the Kenyans don't even want the King to apologize. He said, "I've met quite a lot of people from the communities who were directly affected, and actually most of them are more focused on the future, about how we do things together. Most Kenyans are nothing but positive about the visit." According to Camilla Tominey, the Sussexes were possibly employing their own tactics, for they issued the birthday denial as reports emerged of the couple flying to a Katy Perry concert by private jet, end quote. And I think Camilla is absolutely right. Projection is a tactic that Meghan and Harry have attempted to use before to try to make the royal family look bad. But this time it failed, just like all the other times in the past, because the public is just not that stupid. We are not going to take Meghan and Harry's claims at face value. We need proof. What we do see proof of is Meghan and Harry being a couple of hypocrites. Look, I don't know what the two of them thought this date night via private jet to a Katy Perry concert in Las Vegas was going to do for their image, but obviously it didn't really pan out like they thought it would, because they only made themselves look worse. If this was their plan to get positive press coverage, they didn't think things through, that's all I got to say. As Camilla writes, the return trip from California to Las Vegas didn't quite live up to the rhetoric of a joint statement they posted on Instagram in 2019, which read, "There is a ticking clock to protect our planet. With climate change, the deterioration of our natural resources, endangerment of sacred wildlife, the impact of plastics and microplastics, and fossil fuel emissions, we are jeopardizing this beautiful place we call home, for ourselves and for future generations." It does seem like the Sussexes are facing a bit of an identity crisis right now. In the beginning, right after MEGXIT, they portrayed themselves as global humanitarians. Back then, they really pushed this narrative that they were still going to be doing royal-type work, but they were not going to be working on behalf of the monarchy anymore. We were led to believe that the work they were going to be doing in America was to support causes close to their heart, like climate change. But these days, it looks like they're just trying to be cheap celebrities, nothing more, nothing less. These days, we also see Meghan and Harry doing whatever they can to get their names in the media. Now, Camilla notes that this hypocrisy is a real turnoff for people. Camilla writes, "This do as I say, not as I do-ism also could be said to apply to Prince Harry's ongoing battle against the media. The Duke 39 has now been given the green light to sue the publisher of the Daily Mail, as well as the publisher of The Sun, for alleged unlawful information gathering." This really brings us right back to the Worldwide Privacy Tour. Again, nobody would have a problem if Meghan and Harry really just wanted privacy. If they wanted to live their lives as ordinary citizens, nobody would complain about that. But the problem is, that's what they say they want, even going so far as to sue publications. And then they turn around and put all these puff pieces out about themselves in the media every single day, and they only get more and more ridiculous. There is no doubt in our minds who this stuff is coming from. I mean, we see it every day, some puff piece about how misunderstood Meghan and Harry are and how the media has been so cruel towards them, but really, they're just normal, hardworking people trying to do the right thing. The level of BS is absolutely absurd. And all of this is coming directly from their team. Camilla Tominey concludes the piece by saying the trial against the latter has been pushed back until 2025, meaning there will be another year of Harry versus the press. Was this really the progressive new rule the Sussexes envisaged for themselves when they dropped their MEGXIT bombshell? Some might think that they are spending more time looking backwards than forwards. She's absolutely right. And it's not like they haven't had enough time. I mean, it's been nearly 4 years since MEGXIT. We've heard them talk about a lot of stuff, but what have we actually seen from them? Well, we've seen them sign some lucrative contracts, but have we seen them actually deliver the goods? Absolutely not. They've even lost one contract with Spotify, and I'm sure Netflix is coming soon. Sure, Spare was published, their docu-series came out, and then we had Meghan's Archetype series. But still, all of this content was about their relationship with the royal family. It was not Meghan and Harry doing anything meaningful for the future of the world. For a while there, Meghan and Harry kept insisting that the problem was we didn't hear their side of the story. Well, now we have heard their side of the story over and over again, and it certainly hasn't helped them. In fact, it's just turned them into laughingstocks. I mean, think about what South Park did to them. Think about what Family Guy did to them. And according to experts, their response to being made fun of is also not doing them any favors. Public relations expert Ryan McCormick has weighed in on this, speaking with The Mirror. He said, from a PR perspective, when gauging the trajectory in the present moment of the Duke and Duchess, they are on the express train to obscurity. Letting it be known how offended they are over this recent satire was not a constructive decision. Ryan went on to say, in fact, this revelation will likely encourage more people to dislike them. Being a public figure gives you a number of unique privileges, and it puts you on a pedestal for receiving both praise and criticism. He is 100% right about that. That's one thing that bothers people about Meghan and Harry and makes it really hard to like them. They have no sense of humor about themselves. From an objective standpoint, their behavior is often ridiculous, and the fact that they're not able to see that doesn't earn them any fans. Ryan said that Meghan and Harry could do themselves a great service by incorporating self-deprecating humor into their lives, and I think he's right about that. He says that Meghan and Harry need to learn to laugh at themselves and not to emotionally react when a TV show or well-known figure makes a joke at their expense. Satire is nothing new. I mean, satire has been around about as long as people have been around on this earth. So why exactly do the Sussexes believe they should be off limits? What, they're the only public figures who we don't get to talk about? Even though the palace tried to portray Harry as this fun-loving prince who loved to joke around and just enjoy life, I don't believe he's ever had a real sense of humor about himself, and I think that's why he has such a problem with the media. He wants to dictate what the media reports about him. He doesn't want people to be allowed to share their opinions on him if they're negative. As a spare, his entire life, Harry has been trying to convince everybody how important and serious he really is, even though his behavior shows the opposite. So when TV shows like Family Guy and South Park have their way with him and make him look like the fool he really is, he cannot handle it, because it hits too close to home. The advice that Ryan McCormick is giving is very good advice, but do I believe the Sussexes are going to take it? Absolutely not. Instead, I predict Meghan and Harry are going to continue to slide into obscurity until one day we can finally look through our news feed and not seeing a single story about the two of them. And won't that be a relief for us all? And you, what do you think about the future of Meghan and Harry? Please let me know your opinion below in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video today, please do like and share it with anyone else who would like it too. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.